started 32 years ago by Derek Hook, who had a small vegetarian restaurant and one-screen cinema. And then over the 32 years, his sister joined him, Dorothy Smith, and his brother as well, Ray Hook. And it's grown into a 5-screen cinema with 2 screens being in one building here, another 2 screens down the road, and another studio cinema, 1 screen across the way, which has also got another restaurant with it as well. It's truly independent. It's completely, we don't receive any funding. Our sort of business is a little bit different to a lot of other cinemas because we have all the tourist trade here. So our busiest times of year, generally the holidays. Last year we had a small mountain film festival with lots of specialised short films from sort of way back, and also from around, like local heroes from around the area, and that was great, and we had a few speakers there. We also do a lot of live broadcasts via satellite of opera, ballet performances from the National Theatre. We were the first independent cinema in the whole of the UK to be fully digital. So with regards to the technology, we feel like we're quite forward thinking, so that's why we got 3D straight away. It paid off straight away. Avatar did amazing for us. I think there was a period a few years ago when there was a lot of talk of cinemas were dying out, things like that, but compared to, well, with independent cinemas, I think it's the experience that counts compared to multiplexes. I think that's where independent cinemas do a lot better.
The Dukes was founded actually in 1971, which makes this our 40th anniversary season, and it was set up by a company called Century Players, a theatre company, and it's always been, ever since it started 40 years ago, an independent cinema. In fact, the first thing that happened at the Dukes was they screened a film. The cinema is funded in part by the UK Film Council. We receive our funding through a screen agency called Vision and Media. And they've informed us that when the Film Council switches over, the funding will then be administered through the BFI. However, it's not really clear yet, so we're just kind of waiting to find out what they will fund. So whether they'll only fund or mainly fund filmmaking in Britain, or whether they will continue to fund audience development, which is what we do. Well, this cinema holds 313, there are 313 seats, and I think we do really well to have an average cinema attendance of around about 70, which feels really healthy. We have a film club membership, and people pay an amount a year and they get slightly cheaper tickets, but they also get extras like invites to talks or sort of pre-screening talks or Q&As, or sometimes that'll be by a director or somebody that's particularly knowledgeable on the subject of that film. We have regular festivals, and we bring out 6 brochures a year, so every 2 months we bring out a film brochure, and there are always some seasons depending on what's going on in the film world and what's going on in locally. We will have different seasons going on, and festivals and so on. We have the Lancashire Children's Film Festival that we partner with. My colleague Jonathan is the film programme manager, and he makes those selections on a sort of 2-monthly basis. So he ultimately decides what we do and what we don't have in the cinema. We occasionally talk together about different things, especially if it's something like the live streamings of theatre or ballet or opera, which might be a bit more my bag to a certain extent. So we sometimes discuss those together, but generally he oversees the entire programme. I think there's a real thirst for independent cinema in this country, and I think that given the right kind of support, it's a thriving industry, and it's got to be the kind of support that's not just for filmmaking, but also to support getting audiences for the films. So it seems to me that that we could have a really rosy future if we continue to support the film industry rather than pulling away from that and expecting it to stand on its own 2 feet, because it's not a hugely commercial sector. For us as an organisation to be able to screen a really good range of films and not be constantly looking at the box office to meet everything is really difficult without the sort of support that we've been getting from the Film Council. you.